again. We know this is what we're meant to do. So we wake up, put our feet on the floor, don't talk like a warrior, like warriors. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. No need to panic anymore. We got lots of support and an army of warriors by our side. We fight the good fight when we unite. We fight the good fight when we unite. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life.
Oh no, Mr. Brown just disappeared. I was like, wait for him to speak. Hi, welcome to the Coffee Chat Show. My name is Sondra, and I am one half of the hosting crew, where we talk about business, entrepreneurship, and all the things to help you make the best of things. So hopefully Mr. Brown will be back in a minute. But today we're talking about digital startups, not digital startups, digital marketing for startups. See, I can't even get the right title. So there's Mr. Brown. You pushing the wrong buttons this evening.
I don't know what happened there. That was very bizarre. I don't think I pressed leave and ran for the hills, but it's booted me out nonetheless. Thank you for stepping in, Sondra. Have you done all the introductions?
I said who I was, and that we were talking about digital marketing. You want to introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce our expert.
As Sondra's not so glamorous assistant, I am James of James Brown Voice, your voiceover with soul. You know you have an incredible product, you know you give amazing service, and I'm here to make sure that everyone else does too. And very happy to be here on a Monday with y'all. And we have glorious weather here, which, the Brits like to talk about our weather. So when it is nice.
Yeah. I'm in Florida, so it is very warm.
It's always hot there. That's not exciting.
Three digits. Well, yeah, but I'm not a normal. This is not my normal. And the humidity is super high. So yeah, air conditioning is a blessing. So for sure. So I want to introduce Miss Kelsey. She is I want to introduce yourself, but Kelsey does digital marketing. She does system work, and she's an amazing member of the tribe. And we wanted to highlight her today and let her talk to us about digital marketing strategies. Hi, Kelsey.
Oh, Kelsey.
Hi, Sondra. Hi, James and Lesetja. So I am Kelsey Anderson. I have GR Marketing, and I specialize in helping businesses automate and streamline their day-to-day operations. So I do a lot of the back-end tech work as far as automations, but I also love digital marketing.
So as an entrepreneur, like a newer entrepreneur is what we usually gear towards, but like what would be some strategies to get somebody started? Because it can be very overwhelming. 5,000 people tell you to do it 5,000 different ways. And I know I've been overwhelmed before and be like, okay, forget it. I just won't do it. So if you could give us some tips and strategies, that'd be great.
So digital marketing can be very overwhelming because, as Sondra said, everyone does things differently. The number one key thing is to make sure that you get a really good understanding of who your target audience is. So understanding what problems they are having and how to solve them. So once you know what problems they have, you can figure out the different solutions to solve those issues and talk to them about it. So make sure that you are always being friendly and approachable, can answer their questions and kind of help guide them towards the solution or possible multiple solutions. So interacting, asking questions, using visuals are really key points as far as with your target audience. You want to also make sure that you're providing valuable information and not always trying to sell them something. As consumers, we know that the really salesy people, it can be a turnoff. So providing that value really gets your potential buyers to connect with you and what you can offer them. So it helps kind of elevate you to that next level to make sure that you're providing that good value with whatever strategy you're going with as far as digital marketing goes. Digital marketing in itself can be a game changer, and it can mean there's multiple avenues for digital marketing. So social media, email marketing, SEO strategy, whatever strategy you do go with, you want to make sure that you're staying consistent in your efforts. So if you're putting effort into social media marketing, you want to make sure that you're consistent with connecting with your audience and providing value. Yes, you do want to have call to actions so that you are also selling your services, but you don't want that to be the only thing that you are putting out there. Email marketing, same thing. So don't always be pitching. Make sure that you're also including value in your email marketing. And then with that, whatever digital strategy you are starting with, don't start with all of them at once because that will get overwhelming. You want to pick one, start with that, get really good at that, and then add in the next step in your plan. So really creating that plan of your digital marketing is a key point for your success. Pick one, get really good at it, and then move forward and add another piece in. And if that's not your area of expertise, that's where you can outsource and find someone that is really good at what they do and bring them into your plan. Pull in the experts and utilize them and their knowledge base to help you get that much further. As far as for startups, you want to start simple with easier things. There's a lot of free options out there, such as Google My Business. A lot of startups don't realize setting up, and I don't know if that's a worldwide thing or if that's just a United States thing. I would assume it's worldwide, maybe. But Google My Business is something free that you can set up and just have that information about your business. You can do posts to that as well, similar to the social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. But make sure that whatever you are setting up is relevant and where your audience is. Nowadays, I think I read something recently where the younger generation is not really on Facebook. They're more on TikTok and Snapchat. So that's where going back to understanding who your audience is really key, because if they're not on that platform, you're not going to connect with them. So that's kind of some initial tips and tricks on how to get started.
I love that. I love that, Kelsey. I love the fact of value over sell. So like you said, I think I've heard the 80-20 rule, 80% value, 20% sell. It doesn't mean that you don't sell or don't have a call to action.
Right.
I've definitely had call to actions where it's like, you know, what's your favorite digital product? Like the call to action isn't always like, go book a call and, let me
Yeah.
sell to you. My call to actions are sometimes like, go tell me your favorite product, or I want to hear like what your goal is or something. So I always think call to actions, people think that those have to be book a call or buy my product. Call to actions can just be getting to know your client and building that relationship, I think is extremely important. So I love the 80-20% rule. I actually am bad about 90-10. Like everybody's like, you want to do a little more selling and a little less value. And I'm like, okay, well, let me swing a little bit the other way. So awesome, awesome. Mr. L, come in on the conversation.
Thanks, Sondra. Hi, James. Hi, Hendrick. And hello, Kelsey. All right. I think some of us are what they call BBTs, born before technology. And when you talk digital marketing, we may be left behind, as in, what is digital marketing? I know you mentioned TikTok and all that, and I know there are strategies that you need to employ on the various platforms that there are. But basically, what is digital marketing? Does it involve or include Facebook, LinkedIn, and all that, where it's not your normal traditional marketing of getting people together and showing off your product or your service and all that? Is it that kind of a thing? Thank you.
Go ahead, Kelsey, you want to answer?
Yeah, great question. So digital marketing is really, now in the new age world where everything is online, it's, if you think of it that way, versus newspaper and billboards and mailers, those are all print marketing, whereas digital marketing is really anything online. So it has to do with, all the social medias, the email marketing, the email, digital marketing, email and social media, and then SEO. I'm not an SEO expert, so I wouldn't want to touch on that, but I know that all plays a part into digital marketing strategies. So SEO has to do with websites and kind of the content that you're putting out there and making sure that it's pulling in and connecting with people that are searching keywords and whatnot. But again, not my area of expertise. So that's where I would pull someone else in for that. But anything really online, and putting your information out there in content is what I would equate to as digital marketing.
Would you count definitely YouTube, but would you count like podcasting, like being on a podcast or being on TV or somebody's digital channel or something like that? Is that considered still digital marketing? Because it's all virtual, like it's all like there's even digital magazines and
Yeah. Yeah, I would still count those as digital marketing. Really anything that you can search online for, or put your content or information or your voice out there, I would say would be digital marketing. Advertising online, through the socials or through Google, that would also be considered that.
And we do lightly digital marketing on here because we talk about the experts and we talk about our business. So it is digital marketing. We are digital marketing, even though we're talking about people's things and everything that they're doing. It essentially is marketing if you really want to cut down to it. People are like, hey, you're marketing because we're talking about our opinions and our expertise, but we do mention our businesses. We do put our LinkedIn profile out there when we do show notes, Spotify, all that stuff. So this is marketing too. So it's just a different way of doing it. So awesome. James, I'm curious, in voiceover, is marketing a tad different, or what strategy do you use?
No, it's vital. There are people who who get most of their work through agents. There are people who get most of their work through audition sites, pay to plays, we call them, where you pay a subscription and you do auditions from there. But really, that's it's a very unreliable way of building a business. It's not really a business, in all honesty. The way that you build your business is by making your own client list and serving those clients and developing relationships with those people. So yes, it's a vital part of my strategy. I concentrate quite a lot on LinkedIn. I put a lot of effort into there, connecting with people who I feel like I might be able to help, or who are good collaborative partners, video production companies particularly, who tend to work with voiceover on a regular basis. Production houses are also useful for me, and I try and connect with the person who would make those decisions. I'll try and talk to them and make sure that I'm top of mind when they are thinking of voiceover, and that takes up a lot of my digital marketing. I have used email as well. I didn't find it massively effective, but I do feel like it probably deserves another chance, just because it's better to fire multiple bullets, I think. And yeah, it needs to be something that you use, and at least as a follow-up strategy, if you're not using it perhaps as a direct outreach in the first place. But obviously getting people onto a list and into your CRM, and then designating them as your good leads, hot leads, and what have you, helps you continue with your outreach there, and hopefully turn that into a client. So yeah, I try and personalize it. I try to use video, and I try to be specific with the people I'm trying to connect with. That's mostly what I do. I'm sure there's more effective things that I could be doing. Hopefully I get to implement them sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And yeah, I think, like you said, even if you don't have an email list, if you have a CRM, then you need like the emails and the nurturing sequence and so on and so forth. Literally what I'm working on right now, rebuilding every piece of my business when I rebranded. So that is something that we literally is the goal to get done this week. Because right now it's like hilly-nilly, like, oh, wait a minute, I need to go follow up with so-and-so and da-da-da. So when you can automate and have somebody help you build that out, like Kelsey said, go to the experts, which is what I did. Then, they're going to help me build it out. Okay, Hendrick, I'm going to pick on you, not pick on you. I'm going to call on you. Digital marketing, how does that work when you have a physical in-person business, or does it?
Evening, everyone. I think it works, or let me not say it works or it does not work. What I can tell you is I've actually just done a short course or certificate in digital marketing, because I've also come to realize that it's actually the next in thing. Remember, we're in the age of AI, fourth industrial revolution, and everything actually it's on these social media networks or social platforms lately. I used to be one of the people that would do anything just to keep my mouth shut on these platforms. I don't like chatting, or I only chat within a certain a setting that favors me in a group of people that I know and they know me. So essentially in a group where we are familiar with everyone else. But I saw the importance and the growth of digital marketing. So I decided to give it a try. I haven't yet used it. I just got the course completed recently. So I think we'll know actually in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully it does work out, because like I always say most of the time, we are not immune to change. We are not, as business people, we need to evolve. We need to be adaptive and understand that the industry as we know it now is not going to be the same 2 or 5 years later. So when these trends come, we need to jump on them, learn, and try to adapt. That's Hendrick from Teresano Earth Movers, your lifting and rigging specialists in Mpumalanga.
Thank you, Hendrick. I think it's such a vital part of any business, really, especially when you're a small business trying to drum up your client base, and there are certain things that prove more effective, but you have to be, I think you have to have quite a thick skin with these. And I know you mentioned there in the chat, Lesetja, about email limiting my reach. I don't use it as a primary. It's not the only thing I do, but I do use it as a follow-up. And you can, for instance, put like videos, Loom videos in emails, and sometimes that's been something like I might do for a second or a third follow-up video. What I do tend to put in is demos after, not on a very first cold outreach, because they tend to get spammed because they're an attachment. So you have to be careful with that. I kind of use it as, again, like a secondary, don't want to call it an attack, but a secondary approach to the whole marketing. I have that to a lesser extent. I use video to try and get people's eyes on me and start some conversations from there. And I have the direct messaging that I do to try and get into people's DMs, the relevant people's DMs on LinkedIn. There are other things, of course, as other social media sites, which should be definitely explored as different content that goes on different, well, that works perhaps on different places. Different stuff works on TikTok, for instance, than it would do on LinkedIn. And that's something that needs to be explored. So I've got the setup here now that just needs to be turned on. And like, it took forever for me to turn on the camera on my phone and do my first kind of like pieces to camera style. And I'd been doing documentaries for 10 years, so God knows why it took that long. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get the slightly more funny skit style stuff started soon, because again, it needs to happen. I just need to start doing it. Sorry, Lesetja, go ahead, mate.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Brown, for affirming or confirming that your email would be kind of secondary. It won't be a primary thing that you apply to gain let's say, clientele. And now that I understand what digital marketing is all about, Kelsey, I'm not going to pick on you, but I'm just going to ask, are there different strategies on various platforms that we have? And I'm going to name Facebook, I'm going to name TikTok, I'm going to name Instagram, I'm going to name my favorite, LinkedIn. And then I think, as Sondra mentioned, there's also YouTube. Do you approach them, even if you don't do them all at the same time, but do you approach them the same way? Or does each of the platforms have their own little strategy? Because at the end of the day, when you are advertising on all these platforms, you want to gain clients, you want to grow your business, basically, because otherwise you wouldn't be bothering. And Hendrick will not be wanting to move the earth through digital marketing. I mean, he just moves the earth, so, but it's important for him to also even get certified for digital marketing, because he realizes it's important for his business. It's going to grow his business. So are there various strategies per platform? I know you mentioned that you don't do them all at the same time. Otherwise, it'll be overwhelming. But let me start with, as I said, my favorite, LinkedIn. Is there a strategy that differs from Facebook? Is there content that will differ between all the platforms? Thank you so much. Sorry, Kelsey, but you are the you are the knowledgeable one here today.
Oh, no, that's perfectly fine. I would say yes, you would have a different strategy for the different platforms. For example, LinkedIn versus Facebook. LinkedIn is more of the professional, you're going to find, it's a more business-oriented, professional-oriented platform versus Facebook, which is more social. So, and then that's kind of really where coming in and understanding who your target audience is, what they are looking for, how to speak to them, understanding them and what they're looking for and what they are wanting is really key, because some users that are on Facebook are not going to be on LinkedIn, and vice versa. And then also with Facebook, you're going to want to, that's where you'll have kind of some of the more fun, laid back conversations, the funny anecdotes, the memes and the puns, whereas LinkedIn is really not, and you can relate a lot. You'll have a lot of more personal things on Facebook, whereas LinkedIn's not really a social network for that type of thing. It's more of that professional conversations that you want to have with people. So you're probably going to try to keep it a little bit more professional. You do have the different platforms that have the different sales and advertising opportunities where so your sales strategies will change with the different platforms as well. And it will vary as far as what the competition is like. So that will increase or decrease your ad spend, kind of the, long form content versus short content. It all kind of varies based on which platform you're working with. So you will want to that's where I would suggest only working on one at a time. You can utilize your content across the multiple platforms, but you're going to want to tweak it just a little bit based on which platform it's on and who you're speaking to make it more relevant to that audience. Does that kind of help answer that question? Perfect.
No, it does. Thank you so much. I think
Yeah.
it's been in my mind to say there should be, because you're mentioning the different styles or the different personalities of people on the platforms. And I've realized on LinkedIn it's more formal and straightforward. On Facebook it's more playful.
Yes.
So you want to target people like that. If it's formal, you want to go formal. If it's playful, yes, you want to attract them, but in a playful manner.
Correct.
You answered that very well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And just to kind of add to that a little bit more, with LinkedIn, where it is the more professional one, that's where you're going to want to do more about, professional achievements and the industry insights and, kind of more statistical, and then whereas you said with Facebook and even, TikTok, Instagram, those more not as business structured, that's where you're going to add in the playfulness and whatnot, versus LinkedIn's really, you'll see some of it on LinkedIn, but it's really not the place for it.
I've seen that, and I used to be like, oh, okay, but at least I posted, so that's all that matters. Doesn't matter that it didn't work. I posted on all three, so just leave me alone. But even imagery, Instagram images go a lot farther than Facebook or LinkedIn, which LinkedIn and Facebook, of course, want them, but I know, like I've been doing some quotes and they're picking up steam. They're getting more engagement on Instagram than they are on LinkedIn and Facebook because Instagram's extremely visual. But polls are doing really well on LinkedIn, like asking questions and asking people whatever, I think it was what productivity app or something is their favorite or whatever was my last poll. And that's like, I think I have like 200 engagement on LinkedIn and I have 0 on Facebook. Like nobody wants to do a poll on Facebook, but LinkedIn, they jumped all over it. So definitely, sometimes it's trial and error. I honestly think that, but I think it does build on what we've talked about, which we've been talking about how all year that our stuff is building on one on top of each other about market research, knowing where your clients are, and are your clients on LinkedIn, are you on Facebook or on IG? Because I'd be like, oh, I'm moms that own businesses, and I'm like, well, that could be all 3. Like you got to be a little more narrow. And I do want to remind people reviewing, like every quarter reviewing, where is your market at? Maybe a platform has changed because platforms change. Twitter, X, or whatever the heck it's called now, it's drastically changed even in the last couple of months. So knowing how your platform, and IG has made changes all the time. They make changes all the time. So knowing the platform itself and reviewing what does it still work, or what worked 3 months ago might not be working now, for sure. I love that. Hendrick had a question, and I actually like this question. What are actually the pros and cons of digital marketing, Kelsey? It's a
Find my
very
mute button.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there are pros and cons. So, the pros of digital marketing is depending on which platform you're choosing, you'll have potential cost savings with running ads, because you can get really precise with your targeting and your reach. So, with print advertising, you're not sure who is necessarily seeing your ads, in the newspaper, or paper magazines or billboards. It's just kind of out there, and whoever sees it. Hopefully it's your audience. You are also going to have people not from your audience seeing that. Whereas with digital marketing, you can really narrow down, like, I want to target people within this specific age range. You can even go gender, you can go interests. You can really get targeted with that. So that's nice because that if you've got your targeting on spot, because you know who your avatar is, you're spending your money a lot wiser. And as I say, avatar, and that's who your target audience is. So it does come with some challenges. There is, depending on what market you're in, you may have high competition. You have to be mindful of privacy. Some countries have a little, they're more strict with their privacy laws. And then making sure that if you are advertising, you have all of your privacy policies and terms and conditions in place, so that if you are doing paid ads, your potential clients can go and see what your policies are. So those are important to have. And then also just the constant, I think it was mentioned a few times, whereas technology is constantly changing. So what worked 3 months ago might not work now. So just kind of always paying attention to how things are working. Are you getting the results? And then, making the tweaks and adaptations to keep moving forward versus staying stagnant. So that's kind of the pros and cons of digital marketing versus, print marketing. Mr. L.
Sondra, Whatever you call me, I think it's rubbing off on Kelsey. I don't know if it's because you're both in the USA or what, but yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to pronounce. I don't want to butcher it.
But no, that's okay. No, I just wanted to add on to the pros of digital marketing, especially there in the advertising space. The old-fashioned ones would still work, your radio and TV. On radio, you can never know how many people heard your ad. You can just say, during this program, so many people listened, but you can never pinpoint to say so many people heard the ads. Whereas with digital marketing, you can actually check how many people saw it, how many people liked it, how many people are commenting on it, how many people are asking questions, how many people need more information about your ad. So for me, that's a serious advantage. And if you look at the costs as well, I mean, let's just compare Facebook and TV. TV will cost you hundreds of thousands of rands for an ad. And for it to be effective, you've got to schedule it a few times so that people see it. And doing a 30-second ad on TV doesn't work because people are still watching. It may work on radio, but on TV, no. And if the ad is gone, it's gone. But whereas on your digital marketing, you can go back to the post, read it again and again until you understand what's happening. So for me, there's a huge cost saving, and also your reach. You are sure of who you have reached. And as you're mentioning, Kelsey, you can narrow down your target as to who do you want. On other platforms, you can't. Mom and dad will be sitting in the car with the children, and the ad will be playing, well, depending on what the ad it's all about, and everybody's hearing it. So you may miss your target market when it comes to radio and TV, of course. Newspapers, I think they are now outdated, unless if you do them digitally, which can work. But I think if I go onto a digital magazine or something, I just want to read. I don't want to see pictures. I don't want to see ads. I want to read the content. The ads, no, I don't want to see that. So I just wanted to add on to what you said about cost saving, especially. But then on the negative side of it, is it negative? On the more lacking side of it, if your business is to attract the older generation like us, you may miss us because we are not on Facebook and all that. And I'm not saying me, I just mean a whole lot of people my age. They're not on Facebook, they're not on all these social media platforms. So you will miss getting to them. So I think if you do digital marketing, you've got to do it to a specific age group, maybe from the ones that they can operate a cell phone up to, well, say 60. You target those people, because as soon as somebody goes on pension, it's like, what am I doing with Facebook? Unless if they want to post that they've gone to Balito for a holiday or something like that. So that's just what I'm thinking about the negative side of digital marketing. Thank you, Kelsey.
Yeah, those are great points. Thank you for adding those. Yeah, and exactly. That's, again, back to understanding your audience and where are they, because they might not be on there. Sondra, just mentioned that her husband doesn't do regular social media, but does YouTube. So, YouTube or even Google, Google has an ad platform. So whereas that generation will Google things if they're online. So that might be a better avenue for that generation. But then you also want to be mindful, again, back to the cost savings of making sure that you really understand who your audience is, so that you can, if you are doing ad spend, if you go down, and you don't have to always go down with ads to get business, but if you go down that path, make sure that you're really understanding who your audience is, so that your money is being spent wisely. Otherwise, you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks.
I love it. Yeah, I use that analogy. I have a client that sells products, and she's been doing the spaghetti against the wall, and I'm just like, I'm not a marketing strategist. That's not my forte, but at the moment, I do know that throwing spaghetti at, no joke, 8 platforms does not return. But she had to hear it from like 3 people before she understood that. We have a question from live YouTube show. So Alan, welcome to the show. I don't think I've seen you before. But the question was, if I'm marketing products or services, so like B2B products and services to like a dental practice, what would a digital strategy be? Like, I know you have to make it a little general, but like, I think B2B is what I think they're asking, like business to business. Is that more of a LinkedIn thing or a Google thing, or I don't really think Facebook.
Yeah, business B2B. I mean, again, it could be on Facebook depending on who your business is that you're targeting. But in the dental space, they're probably not going to be, they probably have a Facebook presence, but that's not where you're going to want to advertise to get their business. They're on there to get their clients, the end users, but not for business purposes. I would say in that aspect, LinkedIn would probably be your better option from the platforms, because that's where the more professional connections will be made. And then also, the email marketing. So connecting on the LinkedIn and then doing the follow-ups. So that's kind of where those 2 stages come in, where you're going to want to follow up and stay top of mind. I mean, most people don't buy right away, whether it's consumer to business or business to business. They want to get to know who you are about your business. They want to know that they're connecting with someone that will provide value and understanding of what they're needing. So I would say LinkedIn would probably be the best if you're, social media wise. Stepping away from the digital, phone calls and walking on foot. If you're doing local businesses, walking in, introducing yourself, and then following up with the email marketing and staying top of mind and providing value will also help with that. So kind of that combination there, where you're going to do a little bit more of the personal touch with the phone calls or walking in the door and introducing yourself, if they are a local business that you're connecting with, and then doing the email follow-ups to stay top of mind and to keep providing that value. Hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does. Like you said, if you can do local, I know people that do, cookies with their business card or something, like to put you ahead of another business card or another flyer, and heck, you can get cookies with your logo on it for that matter. There's just lots of different ways, but you can even do that, I think, virtually, because you can send people like to their businesses and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. And like you said, infomercial type people up and redirect them to another platform. Yeah, that's true, Mr. L, that sometimes doing Facebook or whatever and talking to people on there and then being like, hey, come check out my LinkedIn profile, or even like the show. I'll be like, hey, come check out the show and like learn more about me by watching the show, you know, because I talk about business. I don't like I'm a goal accountability coach and this is what you should do. But like me talking to you about taking steps and creating action plans and goals is part of being on here. I might not do it straight up, but usually I would tell you the same things as your client, like, hey, go get a marketing strategist, bring it back, and let's break it down into bite-sized pieces. What platform are you going to tackle? How many times you're going to post? Like, did you do it? Did you engage? How many DMs did you do? Like, that's part of my action plan for goals. So if your goal is to advertise on, you know, LinkedIn or post on LinkedIn or whatever the social media strategy is. Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown.
I was just interested in the social media strategy part of things, and I do on LinkedIn. I suppose perhaps because I'm in a strange business in some ways where the product is me. So I do some, for instance, like, you know, what benefits do voiceover bring to your business, and like sort of what would you do when hiring a voiceover, this, that, and the other. But actually, most of the stuff I do video content wise is it tends to be about, you know, things that affect all of us, like what issues come up about entrepreneurship, what things you know, resonate with me, stuff I think about that I then think, you know, that's potentially interesting. Because I suppose a lot of it, when you're buying a voice, you tend to want to feel a little bit of that person's personality. So so perhaps my LinkedIn stuff is a bit more personal than perhaps, like, you know, here's the value of my product, and I'm answering your question about it in this way. It's just like I that's the way I do it anyway. You can always do the they ask you answer style of approach too, and I think you should do, because of course, you know, find out what people want to understand about your business, and then you position yourself as an expert. But I at least I'm finding out so far that people seem to want to work with people that they like. And I think that perhaps sharing a little bit more of the personal content, if you are working maybe with a freelancer, we are freelancers at the end of the day, that there's no bad thing in at least at least I'm finding there isn't any bad feedback from posting more personal stuff on LinkedIn too.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I would say, I mean, whereas LinkedIn is not strictly business, you just want to be mindful of, you know, it's not really where you'd go to chat about your day. But yes, I think that even like what you said, connecting with people on a personal level is key and important, because that's who you're especially in your business, you're selling yourself. But also social media does have the downside of where it can be a lot of fake things, you know, especially now in the world of AI. So buyers do want, or, you know, whether it's a business or a consumer, and an end user consumer, they do want to connect with you on a human level and know that they're interacting with a person that has feelings and can make, you know, we are all human. We can make mistakes and spell something wrong or whatnot. But so you don't want to be a robot. You do want to still put yourself out there, but it's also, whereas LinkedIn, you wouldn't have the same type of conversations on LinkedIn that you would, or posts that you would on Facebook. So it's just that differential there.
Yeah, I think it's important to, and coaching's the same way. If people don't trust me or like me, then they're not going to be coachable. Like it's a struggle bus. So I'm always like, are you coachable? You know, what kind of trust and rapport, which is why I always want to do 90 days, like get to know, build trust and rapport if I haven't already before we signed as client and coach. But yeah, I know in the coaching world, I don't, that's one of the reasons I don't join, you know, people that thousands and thousands are coaching at the same time. I love the small coaching. I love the one-on-one. I don't do group coaching. That's not true. I do a group session on Mondays, but overall, I usually do one-on-one because I want to get to know you, like you, and then also know your strengths and weaknesses as a coach is extremely important to me, so I can help you not only in your life goals, but in your business goals. So I can't do that if I don't put a little bit of myself out there at the same time so that you can see, I'd be like, hey, I didn't do it. That's why life happens. 16-year-olds happen, grandbabies happen, like that is life. So I do share a little bit of that. Like, hey, I traveled, like had to have an extra day to recoup that it wasn't in the plan, or um, all intentions were great, but the dog had to go to the vet. Just life happens. And I think making, like you said, I'm a human being with human things going on. So I'm not a business robot that is going to always be available 24/7, yeah. So yeah, and that, especially in that world. And I think even with James's business, we want to know your personality because that comes across in your voice. Awesome. Awesome. All right, Kelsey, we are going to start wrapping up. Kelsey, you want to give us a last couple of pointers as we start wrapping up?
Sure. So I would say kind of from everything we've talked about, key things are to make sure you understand whether or not it's a business to business or business to consumer. Make sure you understand who your client is, so that you can provide value and also make sure that not only are you a good fit for them, but they're a good fit for you. Start simple, pick, one, maybe two different types of digital marketing efforts that you want to put in that complement each other. So social media with email follow-up. And then really just stay consistent. And bring in others as you branch off into the realms that you don't understand as much. And that's Kelsey with Jira Marketing.
Thank you, Kelsey, and a good message, I think, for everybody to take out of that. And yeah, there's Lesetja ramming that home with consistency. Really is about consistency, I think, in keeping, because it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be there. Because if people don't see you, then they don't know you exist. So let's keep reminding them that we do, eh? So thank you, everybody, again for this one. Very useful topic, and I'm really glad we addressed it. So thank you very much, Kelsey, for all your insights and for being our guest this evening. And thank you, Lesetja and Hendrick, and thank you everyone else for watching on YouTube as well. And thank you, Sondra, for being fabulous as always. I've been James of James Brown Voice, your voiceover with soul, and thanks for being with us once again. And to you, Sondra.
Thank you, James. Yes, super thanks to Kelsey. You did an amazing job. I know this was outside of your comfort zone. But thank you for indulging and helping us understand digital marketing, because I do think it's a very broad topic. So I think that's the interesting thing about our show is that we can bring that topic in and have a conversation about it to help entrepreneurs and help ourselves. So I'm always learning something. We want to give a shout out to Susan, who does our covers. She does our show notes. Like I said, our LinkedIn links are in the show notes. So you can just chat with us on LinkedIn at any point and any time. We want you to reach out and we want to have conversations with you. We also want to thank Somerville for helping with email marketing and the other things she does in the background. And the Explore ProTech has their GOSN event next Thursday. So that is our international networking event, and it is very unique. You will not see it anywhere else in the world. We do not do the normal networking thing. We have fun. We get to know each other. It's really about building relationships. It's not full transparency. It's not about selling. Like we're really not about selling at the GOSN event. The GOSN event is really about meeting people and building relationships from all over the world. So that is next Thursday. We'll make sure the link is in the show notes. So make sure you sign up for that. It's always a fun time. We do fun questions and just, yeah, we have a blast. That's all the notes. We want to wish healing vibes to Miss Nistine and Mr. Peter, who are owners of the channel. Unfortunately, they've been under the weather for a while, so we want to make sure they get well quickly. I am Sondra. I'm the owner of Get It Done Coaching, and I help you reach your goals by creating bite-sized action plans. I also do quarterly reviews every 3 months to help you review the quarter. I bring in aspects of the show to that. I've changed some pieces of my workbooks and things to match some of the topics we've talked about. My next one is June 21st, and I'll make sure the link is in the show notes today. Also, and then you can always catch us on Spotify. So if you can't listen to us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify. And as Miss Nestine always says, we want to wish all entrepreneurs your wildest dreams come true.